All right. Recently, there was some casting announcement for the Flash film. And I've noticed it's being referred to as the Flash film rather than FLASHpoint, but they're still going off more or less of what FLASHpoint was, which is an indication of that this will be a reset for the DCEU and possibly a recasting of certain characters, possibly Superman, Batman, maybe even Wonder Woman at this point, considering how Wonder Woman 84 went. But anyway, so the casting was for Supergirl. Didn't even know that Supergirl would be involved. It's been a while since I've read FLASHpoint, so I don't recall Supergirl being in that. But there'd been a Supergirl film and whatnot rumored for a while now. I don't know if this is what that's about, but nevertheless, the actress is a soap opera actress from The Young and the Restless, and it's Sasha Calle, I guess, or Calle. I don't know. Sorry if I'm not doing it right. But the whole thing about her is like, oh, she's a Latina, and so here we go again. So. The announcement was done where the Machete told her on what was it, Zoom, I guess, and it's all sweet, and she's all happy and everything, and it's a nice story and all of that. And it's not that big of a deal, but in this current era where this keeps happening, and of course the emphasis is all on that of her ethnicity. It's just this constant thing of this, yes, we tokenize, and it's just a bit of a problem. Now, in particular, with this case, considering that the Flash film will be about DC's multiverse and all that revelation of it, and that the Flash will be meeting multiple versions of DC characters beyond the ones he knows. We know Ben Affleck will reprise his Batman in it. So that's the Batman he knows. He will be encountering Michael Keaton's Batman. If he encounters Pattinson's Batman, we'll see. I don't know. The theory being that at the end of it, Pattinson will be established as the main DCEU Batman going forward after the reset, or some sort. But we'll have to see. It's unfortunate we didn't get the actual story of like Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing Batman. The Thomas Wayne version, but that's the way it goes. So the idea would be that he meets a different alternate universe version of Supergirl. So technically speaking, she wouldn't be in relation to Henry Cavill's Superman, and so I don't know if that. There's another rumor that he'll make an appearance in the film. And most notably was that since Ray Fisher is out, there won't be a Cyborg in it, and that perhaps they'll rewrite it to where it's Superman and not Cyborg, and, which would be very different from FLASHpoint if you read the story about how Superman shows up in that, and Cyborg actually kind of takes its place as far as the prominence of superheroes in that alternate world. Because no one knew about Superman. He was being held at a military base and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, so however it goes, it'll be very, very different because it wasn't necessarily multiverse. It was more a time warp and stuff like that going on in the story. But this will be a magical mystery tour of the multiverse, I guess, as the Flash goes. So it may be that she'll just be this other version of Supergirl, even having her natural hair color, or they may, she could be blonde. Either way, but then when you play in the pool of identity politics, there's going to be a faction that's upset that you changed her appearance. Even though plenty of Latino women dye their hair, because girls and women like to mess with their hair, so. And plus, you can have blonde people from the Latin background. It does happen. But the point of the matter is the character's from Krypton. So whatever the deal would be, that this would just be an alternate universe version, so it doesn't really matter what she does with her hair. And but does she stay on? Do you have a continuation out of this? And the idea would be that perhaps she goes with the Flash, or like her universe ceases to exist or something, which is kind of this weird thing they ended up doing with Power Girl for a while in the comics, that she was one of the sole survivors of the original DC universe that was erased in the Crisis on Infinite Earths and that sort of thing. And they tried to do, they rewrote her origin where she was from Atlantis or some crap like that, but they just, forget that. She's still the cousin to the original Superman from 1938 and all that. So maybe they'll just glom that on to this new Supergirl character, who exists in the same world with Ezra Miller's Flash now as a result of this film, but she's not really, connected to the Henry Cavill Superman, provided he's still there. I don't know. It depends. And now that they've empowered J.J. Abrams behind the scenes there, seems to be sticking with Justice League Dark and rewriting that entirely, where you practically have a brand new character that they'll just call Constantine. What's the point? Just make up a new story. But anyway, so that could be the deal, so that it's not a multiverse. It gives another angle on all of this for your explanations and whatnot. As for the Henry Cavill Superman, he says, oh, well, you don't get the story of him meeting his cousin and, helping her out and get established on the Earth and all that type of stuff. You finally get the real Supergirl story. You didn't get that between Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater, So, but now you never get the story. But the thing of it is, back when Man of Steel came out, there was this prequel comic about it, and it detailed some ancient Kryptonians who came to Earth. Of course, in the story, there was this Kryptonian spaceship that Superman finds, or I guess he wasn't Superman yet, he was Clark, which, for all intents and purposes, was sort of his fortress of solitude, but it was this ancient Kryptonian ship, and he finds it. And then there's all these, cryogenic sleep pods or what have you in there, and there's all these dead Kryptonians in it, except there's one pod, it's open. So someone got out. The story was that this was this woman who got out, and that was the DCEU's version of Kara Zor-El. She's still technically Kal-El's cousin, but she's a cousin by ancestry. She's an ancient Kryptonian. And slowly but surely, I think the idea is at some point they would reveal that this Kryptonian woman was sort of the mother of all the wonders of the Earth, and most notably the Amazons, the Olympians, and all that she, hooked up with some man way back when, and their kids went on to spawn all the myths of Earth. And that would be the deal. So in that aspect, he'd never meet this Kara Zor-El, because perhaps she's long dead, or maybe she wasn't. I don't know if they wanted to do something like that, but it wouldn't be anywhere near the original Supergirl story from the comics. So in that aspect of it, the idea that there's this alternate universe Supergirl who arrived in modern times on an Earth would fill that role in this weird switcheroo way. I suppose they could do it like that. And Henry Cavill's Superman could still respond to her as family, even though it's, boy, is it really several ways removed. So, so there's aspects about this that sort of diminishes the whole identity politics things, which I absolutely despise at this point. Some time ago, it's like back when Billy D. Williams was cast as Harvey Dent, and even up to the point where Lawrence Fishburne was cast as Perry White, it didn't really bother me as much. But now it's this weird political cult aspect it permeates everything now. So it's getting harder and harder to accept this nonsense, especially when you consider the massive insult it is that it's actually trying to avoid, and that the insult is there's tons of non-white characters, black, what have you, throughout the big two of Marvel and DC, and yet very, very few of them get any opportunities to have the spotlight. And if that's what you're concerned about, you would go for these characters. But, of course, the obvious problem is they're too lazy and lackluster in talent and skill to build on these characters who don't already have a massive established brand. And that's what it is. You don't have faith and belief in these characters. So it completely undercuts the whole premise of what they try to justify what they're doing with here. The other aspect, of course, once again, it's a shield against any criticism of whatever films or shows they do. It says, oh, well, you're unaccepting of different ethnicities in roles and being seen and all that. As if suddenly this is the only era we've ever had non-white characters in movies and film and whatnot. And of course, this is a lie. It's an amazing lie at the outset of it because it's so obviously not true, but it continues to happen. And it's unfortunate. A young actress is thrust into this, and this is slapped onto it. But there is some saving grace here, of course. She's playing someone from Krypton. She's also going to be this alternate universe version, which is the point of the film. As for where it goes beyond that, well, who knows? You know, if it's a hit and everything, she may get her own Supergirl trilogy. I don't know. But beyond that, it'll be... you get to the point where in order to make all this fit, that it becomes this ridiculous, so altered version that it's not even the same character anymore. That's definitely seems to be the case what they're going to do with Constantine. Whereas Sasha here, she could easily be made to look just like Supergirl. So I mean, that's what the comics looked like for decades. It's not that hard to do, and then it's like, yeah, it's not really the point. Now, a lot of this is media entities reporting on this, but if you're going to make a big deal about her ethnicity, is like that's the big point of all of this, it kind of undercuts what any attempts at saying that, oh, well, her audition was so good. But when it seems to be the main point of praise that you keep bringing up is, how she was born, and then that's really undercutting her abilities. So it's a stupid time in Hollywood, in the film industry, entertainment, but it's a stupid time overall of constant demands that we remain divided, and it's unfortunate. However, again, with the multiverse aspect of it and her performance, we'll see. It's not a complete, oh, that's it, I'm done with this, I don't want to see it, no, but it is getting so tiresome of this tokenizing of people, which is wrong. But it's not like everybody intends it openly in that aspect, but a lot of it you can't really deny that at a certain point. But all the best. Hopefully she does a good job, and we'll see where that goes. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.